A time when there is a nationwide concern over student suicides and exam stress, a Telangana rule seems like a terrible imposition on students of class 11 and 12. Even if a student is a minute late for an exam, they will not be allowed to take it according to the rule. While the intention is to maintain discipline, does it add unnecessary stress? And that's the issue in focus after a 12th standard student at the remote Adilabad district of the state died by suicide. While the intermediate board says the boy never came to the exam center and the rule forbidding late arrivals from writing the exam is not the reason for the suicide, the question has been raised about the rule itself. Is it necessary to be so harsh? Should there be leniency and revisit such rules? And more importantly, does this fit into the changing idea of exams itself and efforts to reduce the burden on students? My colleague Uma Sudhir joins me from Hyderabad, and with her is child's rights activist Isidore Phillips. Uma, while this incident may or may not be linked to the rule, the idea of losing an exam even if you're a minute late does seem regressive and very aggressive.
Yes, indeed, Mr. Burra Venkatesham, who is the Principal Secretary in the TS Board of Intermediate Examination, has clarified, saying that he has got a report from the District Education Officer which seemed to suggest that the CCTV footage between 8:55 a.m. and 9:05 a.m. this child has not been seen in that footage, and therefore they are saying he has not come physically to the center because no one had appealed to them for coming into the entrance, entering the examination center after this time period either, and therefore they are saying the rule for latecomers may not be applicable here. And he's also pointing out that it is actually meant to stop any kind of an unfair practice in terms of photocopying of the question paper after the exam starts and releasing it to the latecomers, who may then be at an unfair advantage. I have with me Isidore Phillips. Telangana, unfortunately, like many other state boards also, has this reputation of having to deal with student suicide deaths during results and also during exam stress itself. Here, the 1 minute rule, obviously something that students who don't have private transport, who come from very difficult circumstances, exam centers are so far away, nothing in their control, and teachers don't come on time, officers don't come on time, politicians don't come on time. We expect young adults to come on time.
I think it's extremely sad. I think the intent of the rule is good. You want to curb, but we need to also remember the curbing malpractice is basically government's problem. It is the system's responsibility. Pushing it onto the child and saying yes, 1 minute, 5 minutes, after that you're not allowed, it's very, very unfair. And given the circumstances in which we are, some of them have to travel major distances, and I think one of the biggest things that the national education policy talks about is reducing stress. Now, when we are talking about reducing stress, what is it that we are doing to reduce stress? One of the biggest problem in the education system today, especially the examination system, all of us, right from top to bottom, we know that there's something fundamentally wrong with that whole thing. And in that thing, what is it that this department can do is to reduce a little more stress. One, what is it that you can do? Ensure that they've already studied, we don't know how many late nights, we don't know what kind of stress they are in. And an examiner, timing is another last moment stress. Is it necessary? Not necessary. We need to actually turn the discussion upside down and say, how do we make it student friendly? How do we make it child friendly? How do we facilitate? And I think this kind of facilitative environment is going to reduce stress.
Thank you so much. So that is summing it up really very well, saying that why are we conducting these exams, and is that meant to actually cause stress? The larger purpose is something that we are forgetting, even though in policy we speak about it. Back to you, Veera.
Right, thanks very much, Uma, there. I love that question where you say politicians don't come on time, bureaucrats don't come on time, but we expect our young adults to come on time. May I just point out that television journalists have to be on time because the shows start on time. But yeah, we'll keep our focus on that serious issue. But